All right. Good morning after, yes, sorry. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our BNI Global Gurus series. I'm super excited about today. This is a series that we wanted to start. We've been doing it all year long to really think about how you can 10x your business, your life, everything. And if you haven't read it, the book 10x is easier than 2x is a definite must to get on your list. So these are the three books that we are working on this year, and we hope that you're thinking about these, getting them on their list, and really taking advantage of the knowledge that is in these books. So just a couple of 10x things. 10x means that your attention is on far less, but it is insanely more potent and impactful because it is focused versus being spread thin. So how many of you know you need to take some things off your to-do list? Notice I said off. All right, who's going to do it for you? Who's going to step in and make those things happen? And this is really about you finding that unique ability that only you can really truly do in your business, and really ensuring that you're able to have the time and the energy to be able to do all of those things. So this is our mantra for the year, our 10X mantra. And we are super excited. I didn't get a chance to update this. I believe that Alameda and North Bay are over 24, and that was our average chapter size. Santa Clara, I think you're up to almost 19.3 or something like that. So super excited about that. So just remember, hitting these goals and making these things possible is always a great thing. I'm just going to fly through these. I want you to know that each one of these recordings, Rebecca sends them out, the link, so that you could literally go back to the beginning of the year if you're just joining us for the first time, and you could hear all of our global gurus throughout the entire year. So Spencer started us off with literally the 10X topic. And then we had the awesome Phil Berg, Chrissy Ballard talked about who's in your room. Very important to keep your positivity and energy level up, if you will. We obviously had Dr. Ivan Meisner with his book, The Third Paradigm. Lisa Renz, who is our National United States Director. I loved this one. If you guys want the newest things that people around the globe are doing, this is the one to listen to. Shirley Town talked about Beningo, and then we started that whole Beningo craze during the summer there. Mark Gibson, I really love this one because it was little tiny things that weren't overwhelming, and I don't even like that word, but that were simple to do, but made really big increases for BNI chapter members. And he's the national director for Spain. We had Hazel Walker, who's just amazing and funny, helped us work on target market and things of that nature. But today, folks, you may not think he's a global guru because you get him all the time here locally, but I know he is a global guru. He has been in BNI for over 27 years now. And so I'm going to read his bio for those of you that don't know him very well. Mike Macedonio is a New York Times best-selling author, a speaker, and future astronaut with Virgin Galactic. Mike is also the co-founder of Ascentive, and by using referral strategies that they teach, Mike actually built Ascentive from a small training and consulting company to a franchise organization in 23 countries around the world with 60 locations total. Mike is also an executive director in the BNI SF Bay Area. And in this role, he loves helping thousands of local business owners build their businesses through structured business networking. Mike gives back to his community, holding a position on the board of directors for the Wisconsin Big Cat Rescue, which is a nonprofit organization caring for abused or neglected tigers and lions. And something most people don't know about BNI or Mike is that he's been switched at birth, struck by lightning, and bitten in the face by a Bengal tiger. So when he's not helping entrepreneurs, big cats, or golfing, he has a passion for his wife, that is me, very happy about that one, and entertaining friends and family. Folks, please help me welcome our BNI Global Guru this month, Mr. Mike Macedonio.
So thank you, Dawn. Thank you. And thank you for being here, everyone. Today, what I want to be talking about is playing big in business and in life. And what I want to ask you to do is when I tell you the story about a time where I stepped it up to start playing big, I want you to start thinking about your own story. Where is it that you want to stop playing big? And then I'll also go through some mindset and skill sets. And I'd like to, again, be thinking and please write down how you can implement those things in your playing big. So my playing big at the time, I had started getting back into bike racing, and I decided I'm going to race the biggest, baddest mountain bike race in North America, because that's what old guys do. The biggest, baddest mountain bike racing is the Leadville Trail 100-mile mountain bike race. It is grueling. You start off at 10,500 feet. You do 1,200 and 500 feet of climbing. That's a little over 2 miles straight up, over 100 miles in the most grueling race. And I said, that's what I'm going to do. That's playing big. If I can get into that, that's what I want to do to play big. Now, you may not be thinking about doing a 100-mile mountain bike race, but again, what is it for you that's playing big? So let me give you a little demonstration of what this looks like.
Someday, baby, you ain't one of my life.
All right, who's in? Who's in? So that was my playing big. And I'm going to tell you the one secret in playing big. Okay, whatever that big goal is for you, whatever you're looking to do, that's a 10x. The one secret is there's no one secret. There is no one secret. All right. But there are some components that I believe have to be in place to play big. And that's the stuff I'm going to be covering today. And it starts with having an inspirational goal. It starts with having an inspirational goal. And this is something that gets you excited. Like you're willing to take this on even before you know how you're going to get there. Rebecca, I see your hand raised. Did you have a?
Yeah, Mike, you seem to be your volume is a little low. Can you turn your microphone back up after that awesome video you showed, please?
Did that make it louder?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Maybe now it's good.
A little better?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we're back to that inspirational goal. It's something that gets you excited, and so much so that you're willing to take it on even before you know how you're going to reach that 10x goal. Okay, you don't even know the path you're going to take, but you're absolutely committed to make this happen. That's the way I was with Leadville. Okay, I was committed that I was racing Leadville. I had booked my plane tickets. I had rented a home where we'd be staying in Leadville. I had hired a coach. But here's the thing: I didn't have a ticket. To get into Leadville, you have to qualify. You have to get one of these before they'll let you in Leadville. Now, in my mind, because I'm a networker, I was thinking, I'll get in. I know somebody's going to know somebody. That's the way I'm going to network my way in. That's what I didn't know. By the way, not knowing what you don't know is not bad when you're going for 10x. What I didn't know is no one gets in there by knowing someone. Okay, people that have competed in the Tour de France have tried to get into Leadville, and they go, nope. You either qualified or you won the lottery. We have a lottery, or you can qualify by racing and qualifying that way. However, I did find out that they had another way of getting into Leadville. If you're a CEO, if you're a CEO of a company, which I was the CEO of Referral Institute, if you're a CEO, you can race in a special category. And that's how I got in. I raced with CEOs and I Googled every one of them. I did my background on all of them. They are badasses. They are Race Across America competitors. They are Ironman competitors. These guys were badass, not only in the bike, but in the business world. It was a who's who of CEOs. Now, I also got an opportunity to network with them when we got to race because we had events together and we got to network, for me, networking up. But again, going back to that inspirational goal, you're willing to do what it takes, no matter what it takes, even if you don't know how you're going to get there. So what I'd also like to share is these are called wealth files. This is from The Millionaire Mindset by T. Harv Eker. Now, you could replace money or rich or poor, because that's the way he grades it. It's like, what's the mindset of people that are successful? What's the mindset of people that are wealthy, as opposed to people that are poor? And one of his wealth mindsets is that rich people think big. Again, you can replace rich with successful people think big. Poor people think small. Okay? And so when you're thinking about how you want to achieve your lifestyle, how you want to achieve that 10x goal, okay, it starts with thinking big. Okay, it starts with thinking big. The next thing you want to know about playing big, it involves other people. Okay? This is not something you're going to be doing by your own. Everything in 10X talks about this, where you need to get support, you need to delegate, you need to really create an environment that is not a sole sport. You would think with cycling, it's just you on a bike. Absolutely not. Okay, if it wasn't for these gentlemen kicking my butt, okay, every week, 5-6 times a week, okay, I would have never, ever been able to accomplish it. And the support of our wives to support us in this bucket list playing big event. Okay, playing big allows other people. Who are the people that are going to support you? Who are the people that are going to benefit when you achieve your playing big? Okay, are there vendors, employees, clients that you're going to serve? Who are all these people that are going to be involved in you playing big? And the next thing we do is develop the playing big mindset. Developing a playing big mindset. For me, watching that video that I just showed you, and then also watching the extended movie they created out of that was playing anytime I was on a trainer. And I was literally watching the race that I was going to be racing later that year. Okay? Playing big is a mindset. Now, we also talk about sharing with others this monumental goal that you have. Okay, sharing with others. This presentation that I'm giving you here today, I gave before I did this race. And I gave it to our company, Referral Institute. Now, why would I want to share that goal with everyone in the Referral Institute? The number one reason was I didn't want them to think I checked out. I didn't want them to think I checked out because most of these franchise owners and trainers and coaches, they follow me on social media. Okay, some of them are athletes themselves, and they follow me on Strava. Okay, if they're watching on social media or on my Strava account, well, look, Mike's racing in Texas. Oh, now he's in Massachusetts. Oh, now he's riding in Germany. Oh, now he's riding in Alaska. By the way, these are all the places that I was riding with during the year, and clearly putting in a substantial amount of time to do that. Now, why would I share this with them? Because I wanted them to know when you're playing big and you got a playing big mindset, it just doesn't show up in that one area. Okay. I told them, because I have done this before, one of the things they're going to find is our company will never be more successful. This will be the most successful we've ever been. Because when you're playing big, you do it everywhere. Okay? This is not about sacrificing your family so you can achieve a goal, or sacrificing your health so you can achieve a goal. If any of those things are happening, you're not playing big. Okay, you're not playing big. Okay, all areas of my life were enhanced and expanded. Okay, by being in this space of playing big. I don't think it's a coincidence that the year I committed to racing Leadville, I don't think it's committed that that's the year my wife and I moved into our dream home. Okay, it's playing big, and that's something we've always wanted, and that's something we're able to achieve. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence. Okay, that playing in that space also came in other areas like our home life, like our business, okay, and on the bicycle. So rich people admire people that are successful. Okay? Poor people resent people that are successful. And you could use that in any area that you're looking to expand and play big. You know, if you're looking to get more fit, you have to admire people that are fit. If you're looking for more love, admire people that are in love. If you're looking for more successful business, who are the people that have more successful business, and admire them? You know, there are several people that I admire, and I want you to think about when you're thinking about your big goal, who are the people that have been there, done that, that you admire, okay, with the same values as you. I think that's very important when we talk about people to admire. Okay, I admire Dr. Ivan Meisner. I admire the success. I admire the way he's done it. I admire his values. I admire his concentration in his family. Okay? I admire him in so many ways because of his success and how he got there. I admire Richard Branson, and not because he's a billionaire, because he's extremely generous and gracious. You know, got to spend a week, my Dawn and myself with him. Just an unbelievable person. And you might be thinking, I don't have access to these type of people. Well, I admire people that I don't have access to also. I admire Jay Leno. Now, actually, I've seen him on stage, but I never talked to him. But seeing his interviews and seeing the way he approaches his business, his life, his work ethic, everything about that man says, I like this guy. Okay? And he's extremely successful. And I feel that the values are in alignment. Okay? So I want you to think about that and perfectly write some names down. Who are the people that you admire? Who can you follow? How can you be in better connection with them? Talked about hiring a coach. Now, at this point in my life, I have been cycling for approximately 45 years, maybe a little more than that, maybe 48 years. And I hire a coach. By the way, this gentleman was my coach. Can you imagine giving him, his name is Mike also, can you imagine me giving him excuses on why I didn't do certain things? Yeah, not going to happen. But why did I hire Mike? Not because of this intensity, because he has knowledge. Okay. He was doing things with me, okay, that I wouldn't have known to do myself. Okay? One of the most incredible things that he told me as a coach, he says, Mike, the more information I have, the more I can help you. I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, the more information I have, the more I can help you. Okay. So did he see every workout I did? Yes. He saw my heart rate, the intensity, the miles, the amount of elevation. By the way, in this year alone, I rode over 6,000 miles, most of it in the dirt. I had climbed almost 500,000 feet up. Okay. That's 95 miles straight up, by the way. Right? I'm taking a spaceship with Virgin Galactic, and we're not going that far into space. But that's the amount of uphill bike riding that I did. He tracked every one of those workouts. Right? He would put me on the trainer, and he would be pricking my finger to get blood. And I believe it's a lactose threshold, whatever it is. He was able to measure as my conditioning was improving. Okay? I gave him my diet every week of what I had to eat. He knew my resting heart rate was every morning that I woke up, because I would take that heart rate and I would send it to him. The more information I have, the more he can help me. But he also provided, besides guidance, he also provided accountability. Right? And this is so important if you're looking to achieve really, really achieve, okay, you want to find someone that is an expert in that area. So what am I saying? Hire a coach. Okay. If you need to hire a coach in marketing, hire a coach in marketing. If you need a business coach, whatever that area is that you want to expand, hire a coach. That's number one. Number two, ready? And listen to them. Listen to them. Okay. They've got the expertise. If you trust they have the expertise, okay, you also want to follow it. I'll tell you, the first coach I hired, I fired. Yeah, my first cycling coach I hired, I fired. Okay. I found that I had to hold him accountable. I found that I was coaching him more than he was coaching me. All right. I fired him, and that's when I got attached to this gentleman who absolutely, okay, did everything I needed to be successful. So, Wealth File 17, rich people constantly learn and grow. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. And that again goes back to getting the coach. Okay? By having a coach in my corner. And I'll tell you, besides, the only thing I regretted about having a coach is I wish he was there when I was competing. I wish I had taken him to Colorado while I was competing, because what he would be able to notice is like, Mike, you're not drinking enough. Mike, you're burning too many matches. Mike, you need a little bit more fuel. If I had that type of coaching while I was performing, okay, I would have performed even higher level. Right? If your coach not only coached you and told you what to do and helped you, what if they actually saw what you're doing out there in the field? They saw how you were operating the business, and do you think they might be able to make some adjustments like a football coach would do to his players? So how will all this work out with over 6,000 feet, 6,000 miles of climbing and 95 miles straight up in the air, and all of the hours that were invested in creating this? It all comes without a guarantee. Okay? Going into this race, I know that hundreds of people won't finish or hit the cutoff time. There could be mechanicals, there could be injuries, there could be the effects of altitude when you're operating your body and your mind with 30 to 40% less oxygen. Yeah, that messes with you. 30 to 40% less oxygen at that altitude, and you're trying to compete at the highest level. And I will also say, it's not about the day. Whatever your big goal is, it's not about hitting that goal. Okay. It's about doing that for the entire year, which this was a 1 year project, for the entire year of playing big, okay, and being at all these different events and being in mindset of abundance. Right. So how would it all work out?
I think you have to share your audio.
Mike, you need to share your audio.
Might start over because the sound is really distorted.
Yeah. Mike. Mike, he probably can't hear us because he's got it's loud in his room. Yeah, he can't hear us.
Let's say suffering success.
Mike,
That's it.
Mike, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so we couldn't hear a lot of the video, so maybe if you wanted to say a couple of highlights of the video, and your volume is low again.
Okay. How about now?
Mm-mm.
Now?
Yep.
Better?
And you have to share your audio. If you're going to share sound on a video, you have to select share audio.
Yeah, and that's on the advanced setting, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I tried playing with that today. For some reason, I couldn't get it to work, but thank you for that.
Okay.
So, yes, it was a suffering success. My teammates were also equally successful. As a matter of fact, they had a great race in terms of no mechanicals, no injuries. It was a great race, and we all absolutely committed to one another. Never again. Never again are we going to go through that. All right. So, what did I do? I lied. I broke my promise to my teammates, to my wife, and I went back and I did it again. A second time with even more miles and even more climbing. And this time I didn't get it as a CEO. I actually raced the Tahoe Trail 100-mile mountain bike race. Ready for this? 65 miles, 7,500 feet of climbing on a single speed. And I knew two things. I knew two things racing that race that I knew was that if I finished, and first of all, I knew I was going to be the oldest person in that category. They don't have any age groups. And the second thing I know is if I finished, I would be in the top 10. The top 10. Why? Because 650 people show up for that race. There's only 10 idiots that do it on a single speed. And I did it on a single speed, finished sixth. They gave me one of this, and I went back to Leadville. I went back to Leadville. And here's the interesting thing about the second time I did it. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence that that's the year that Dawn and I had a major renovation in our dream home. Again, stepping up and playing big. We had a major renovation. We also took our most enjoyable vacation ever. And if you know anything about Dawn and I travel, we travel a lot. We've been to amazing places. Camp Jambalani in South Africa, Necker Island with Richard Branson. But that year was a trip we took to Croatia and sailing. And we still today say that is the best trip we've on. I don't think it's a coincidence when you're playing big. It shows up in other parts of your life. Right? It's not just a single focus. It's not a 2x, it's a 10x. So what's the secret ingredient in the magical sauce? The secret ingredient in the magical sauce is emotion. Okay, they're playing big and having that emotional connection. So playing big in life, what's your story and how do you want to play big? And that's what I'd like to do next. I'd like to start hearing, what is that big for you? Is it in business? Is it in life? It doesn't matter what area it's in. Okay, when you stop playing big, it's going to filter over into other areas. So if we could, I'd like you to stop putting your big 10x. You can raise your hand and share it. Okay, you can also put it in the chat if you like. Yes, someone's at their hand up. Yes, please. That says Dwayne.
So my big 10x was taking my business to a place that I could afford to go to Hawaii for 6 years and live the life in Hawaii while still maintaining my business here. It was a huge leap of faith, and it took a lot of work in the background to get the business to that point. And now I'm back in Northern California. And now the next leap of faith is getting the business ready to support me for the rest of my life while I go travel off in the sunset.
Excellent. And what a great story, because Dwayne, I mean, I remember when you left us and you went to Hawaii, but I was so happy for you, like so grateful that you had the opportunity to do that. And I'm glad you're willing to do it again. And so the question I have with that 10x goal you have there, who are the stakeholders? Who are the people that are going to benefit from that achievement?
My employees.
Employees? Who else?
My wife.
Mm-hmm.
The other people that I'll be serving in working with the Mayan elders. They're going to benefit from our expertise. I'm bringing retreats and seminars and bringing them into the light.
Your vendors?
Yeah, vendors, yes.
Okay. And so these are the people you want to share that playing big goal with. and let them know where you're going. Okay. And many of them, I believe, are going to be your support.
Yep.
You know, your wife, your employees, all of these people are going to be your support to get there. Okay. So sharing them with them. Do you feel that there's anything mindset that would hold you back from doing this again?
Um, just not believing in the economy. And I don't buy that. I believe that I'm creating my reality.
Uh-huh.
There's that's going on in the background. Oh, woe is the economy. But no, let's set ourselves apart from that. We attract a very high-end customer and we do the best that we can possibly do. So I'm putting myself outside of that realm.
Yeah. And that's a playing big mindset. You know, a playing small mindset thinks about the sacrifices they have to make. You know, oh, the hardships of going uphill for 95 miles straight up. Guess what? You also go down. Yeah. You know, you might have to climb the hill, but you're going to come down too. And it's really all of the things that you get to experience along those ways. And I think that's a great mindset that, like, no, the economy doesn't affect me. I affect my economy.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Chantal, would you like to share?
Hi, yes. I did really like that comment that you just made, Dwayne, about the economy, because I feel that too. But um, I actually kind of just went through a 10 times. I increased I basically sloughed off all the lower end things that I was working on that were really dragging me down. And I need to do that another time, but I was able to move to Lake Tahoe and kind of do more personal things. So I need to do it again because I feel like it was maybe not a full 10 times, but it was definitely gearing me up towards where I need to be.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go into mindset. What's your mindset of making that happen?
I need to first set the goals, and I'm actually in the middle of reading the book, so I'm kind of going and using that as a playbook to get started.
Uh-huh.
But I've taken some steps already to hire a coach and get started. It's just, needs a little bit more preparation before I'm ready to do the next jump.
Is it inspiring?
Yes.
What makes it inspiring? What do you get to have or do or experience when that happens?
Um, just more time with my family.
Okay. What does that look like?
Uh, Day to day, more, time with my daughter. I mean, she's 2.5 already, and it's going fast. So, more vacations more travel that we want to do.
Okay. So what I'm going to suggest is define those as clearly as possible. Where are you going on vacation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, make that the goal. And the things we're talking about in business by giving up things and being, all of those things allow you to have the inspiration goal, which could be, will tell me, where would you go?
Well, you mentioned Croatia. I've always wanted to go there, so that's on the list for sure.
I was talking to a woman from Croatia yesterday. It clicks all the boxes. Amazing people, unbelievable food, wine, the water. I mean, everything about it. The food is just absolutely not from this planet. So define that, but big, like really big. Like, what's this trip going to look like for you, your husband, your daughter, and make that your playing big goal. Right? And now, so along the way, what you can start doing is, along with building your business to afford that lifestyle, okay, what you can start doing is building the plan. What are we going to do? You know what made that trip so absolutely spectacular for Dawn and I? We hired a captain in a sailboat and was sailing to these small islands with our friends. It was absolutely like paradise. Now I want to tell you what happened, though. Okay, I had just completed Leadville. I was out for a mountain bike race. I took a crash and broke a rib. Now, if you've ever broken a rib, it only hurts no matter what you do. You laugh, it hurts. You sneeze, it hurts. Now, when you're in a sailboat and you're going to crawl into a cabin or you need to use the head, you got a lot of movement and it hurts. It didn't matter. I would dive off the boat saying, okay, this is going to hurt. Oh, this is unbelievable. And just had the most magical time. And he was, now, if you stop making that part of your vision, like Leadville was part of my vision. I told you, I probably watched that movie 50 times. 50 times. I knew the trail. I knew what the trail was going to do before I got to the race. Almost all 100 miles of it. Right? And you'll see that inspirational vision. Good stuff. Who else would like to share their playing big? What are you going to do?
I will. I'm
Yes.
Debbie DiMaggio. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I'm in Amy Fanning and David Groden's group, since I know you know them very well. And I want to say hi to Dale Marie. I just saw her. So I believe in mindset 100%. And I'm a realtor, but I'm also a coach, and I like to coach young people. And I want people to believe no matter what age you can do whatever. It's all mindset. Same within real estate when I'm coaching. So last year, my son said he wanted to go into the military, and it completely freaked me out. He went for a short time. He's back, thank God. But I said, why are you going? He was 28, and he said, I want a challenge. And I said, what does that mean? I don't understand. I said, is it because you're watching the reality show, The Challenge, and you want to do? And he was always an athlete all his life. He still is. He's a lacrosse coach. So I was like, I don't know. So December 31st, and mind you, we were on vacation in St. Bart's. So he grew up a very different way than someone maybe in the military. So we're in St. Bart's, and he's dropping this on us over Christmas time. So December 31st, I got home and I just started running, and I just didn't know what I could do to challenge myself. And so I ran like 2 miles here and there. Did not look at a YouTube video, did not train for any race whatsoever. So before he left, we did a 10K. I said, we might as well, instead of do a 5K, let's do a 10K. The worst is I can stop. Then I said, by the time I'm 60 in July, I want to do a half marathon. Well, in March, I ran the LA marathon, no training, just mindset. I talked myself through it the whole way to this day now. That was in July. I don't believe I did it. I haven't been running. I did it at the end of the race, my legs felt like they were going to throw up, but I literally did it on mindset. And there was nothing else. There was no training. When I was with this young guy taking the bus to the where we were going to take off from, we were talking about his training, and he was probably in his 20s. And he said, oh, I ran across the San Mateo Bridge. I did this and this. And I'm like, please don't ask me my training. Please don't. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to get out and do it. So anyway, I wanted to prove to people at all ages, doesn't frickin' matter. It's mindset. That's it.
Yeah. I'm listening to you tell a story. I'm just laughing. I had a similar thing happen. I had knee surgery a couple of times, and the doctors always says, don't run. You don't have that cartilage in there, and it's really, you just shouldn't run. And like, first of all, if they tell me I shouldn't, then I was going to do it, even though I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Anyways, I'm living outside of Chicago. It's Labor Day weekend, and my sister flies in from New Orleans. And she tells me she's going to go for a ride. And I haven't even run around the block in over a year. Okay, I've done it all. And she goes, I go, Cheryl, I'm going to go come with you. She goes, you're not supposed to. Your knee, and you're not supposed. Yeah, but you're only doing a few miles. I just want to go out there and run. And so I'm out there running with this beautiful fall day, and I'm out there running with it. Man, this is so cool. I mean, I'm just really digging this. By the time I finished the run, I looked at her, and her name is Cheryl. I said, Cheryl, I'm going to do the Chicago Marathon next month in October. You're an idiot. And she goes, you're going to, I go, no, I'm going to run it. I said, but I want to run it all out. I don't even care if I finish. I'm going to run all out. I'm going to run it to break 3 hours. Oh, you're a real idiot. Now, any sister can tell their brother they're an idiot. Okay. But she's actually qualified because she got a master's in exercise physiology, and she's a wellness coach for the Martin Marietta Manned Space System. So her telling me I'm an idiot is probably valid. And I told her, I said, Cheryl, no, you don't understand. Dad gave me a book. Okay. And the book is Mental Toughness in Sports. Mental Toughness in Sports. And it talks about the majority of performance is up here. Even the exercise we do is training this more than it trains the body. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to run that much because I know I can't. Okay. I'll do a little bit of running and stuff, but I am going to mentally condition myself that I am a 3-hour marathon runner. I'm going to meditate. Okay. I'm going to visualize. And it was a great journey because when I first started, within the first week, my knee swelled up because it shouldn't be running on it. I had shin splints, and I twisted my ankle. And so as I'm visualizing how I'm going to be a 3-hour marathon runner, these thoughts are going into my head. Maybe your sister's right. Maybe you're an idiot. And then a couple of weeks later, all of a sudden I start to believe, like, no, I'm gonna break 3 hours. I can see this happening in my head. I visualized everything was coming to light. Like this movie in my head was real. By the time I showed up to Chicago, I was 100% convinced. Nobody can tell me otherwise that I wasn't going to break 3 hours. Okay. And this is at the point where they used to line you up by how fast you're going to run. I went right to the front with the 3-hour guys, which is a mistake because those people are actually 3.5-hour marathon runners. The first 2 miles, we were so bottled up. It was not part of my vision. I couldn't get around people. I'm running on the curb. I'm running all over the place just to get where I'm supposed to be. Now, long story short, I finished the race in under 3 hours. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed because in my head, I already knew I was going to break 3 hours. I was, usually when I hit a goal, set a goal, I could do much better than that. Okay. And I barely made it. What a disappointment. Because part of my other mindset is never good enough. Okay.
That's incredible.
Always having something to prove, never being good enough. And so when I do make some accomplishment like that, which seems like that's pretty significant, it was like, should have done better. I could have done better. It's all mindset. That was 100% about visualization. And, and go back to Chantal, seeing pictures of Croatia, researching about Croatia, visualizing what that trip could look like. Is it going to be on the water, on the land, a combination of both? What are the experiences you're going to have with that family? Okay. And then again, using your business as a way of making that happen. Who else would like to share? Yes, Laura, what's your inspirational goal?
I have a friend who calls me mom and is going to chef school in Parma, Italy right now. She's in the second phase of that program. I want to see her next year. And I also want to challenge you a little bit on this in terms of energy follows thoughts. I agree with all the mindset that you're talking about, but also energetically and the visualization and everything else that you mentioned to achieve those goals. But you need the energy and shifting whatever energy that you have. It's mind, body, and spirit. It's all of that needs to be in alignment to optimize things.
Yeah. And, and I would say along with the energy, you can get that energy from by who you're surrounding yourself with.
Exactly.
My network, my support network, knowing what the success principles are, okay, knowing what the wealth principles, if you would, right? I don't like hanging around with people that think small. I don't like I don't want to surround myself with people like that. Okay. I want people that have abundant mentality. I want people that are supportive. Like I told you about having consistent values. Those guys that I raced with, that I trained with, they were everything in terms of getting where I needed to be. Right? There's plenty of times it's like, I'm tired. I don't know if I can make it. I'm too old for this stuff. You know what? I wasn't going to disappoint them. If I said we're showing up and we're riding 100 miles, we're riding 100 miles. And it was really the accountability of having partners like that. And if you try to do it alone, that's a tough road. I know I don't want to be any part of that. Right? But if you find people, when I talked about the sharing with my company, I really want them to understand that I am not checking out. I will be more focused on the company than ever. Okay, because this is the place I'm going to be. One of the things I didn't anticipate for that is people were inspired. They were really inspired. They were like, in two ways, like I had so many people that were rooting for me. I mean, from around the world, people rooting for me in Leadville. And it was just amazing. But I also had so many people that came back and told me how they came in this year and played big. Stories like running a marathon, doing different things differently, 10x type of things. And they would come back and says, because of that story, I decided I'm playing big. When I finished this presentation the first time, there was no conclusion of actually succeeding. This is just what I want to do. Okay. I had one of our top producers in the company come up to me. She's from St. Louis. And she says, wow, wow, wow. I am like, She goes, and I am pissed off because I was so onto you, I was so into you that you didn't have something to sell because I wanted to buy. And if I had something to offer, like to sell, she goes, I was buying. I don't care what it was. Like that was like inspiring, right? Again, when you share this with other people, okay, share it with the key stakeholders. Avoid sharing with people that say you're an idiot. Okay? Share it with people that are going to be inspired for you, that want to support you. And you know who they are. You know the people that are automatically going to say, "Oh, that's too much. You're never going to be able to get your company to a point where you're going to be able to spend your life in Hawaii. The economy is not going to allow that. The competition is not going to allow. You know who those people are. Okay? Don't let them in the room. And you also know those people that are going to stand behind you, those employees that'll support you, your wife, the vendors. They're going to, yeah, we're going to make this happen. Ellie, tell me about your inspiring goal.
Well, I actually, in the beginning of the year when we started the 10X, I actually did a big 10X. Only my then chapter knew. I was on a hold for my visa. So as I always called myself, I was a little wetback. But because of the BNI, and because of the 10X and your inspirational talks and gurus talking and everything, I said, okay, let me go ahead, and I Googled BNI immigration lawyers, and I was around the corner from the building from us. So we met on Wednesdays and that met on Fridays on CC Byrne. And she connected me with well, she did all my paperwork, and 3 months later, she got me everything that I needed to be legalized in the United States. So that was my biggest 10X. And also, thank you. Also, what now that you mentioned mindset, it is a mindset with me having that because I was in a waiting period and all of it. As soon as I got that little card, my mindset changed. I was asked from you guys too to support the BNI Latino chapters, forming chapter, and it like completely changed. It, like you say, everything lines up, and everything was lining up. I was seeing myself differently already. I was being reached by other people in the Latino community, and it was just changing my mindset. And that's why I have Hilda today. She doesn't understand a bit of what we're saying, but I told her, come in, join. You'll learn from us. You'll learn from Mike, whatever he says, and whatever comes up in your head or your in a word that it's inspiring, let me know, and I'll explain it to you, because she's looking out for us. She was in BNI in Mexico, and now she is so inspired to join here, not knowing the language. And when she heard about BNI Latino, she got inspired, and we're motivated. So it's the connection, me becoming a resident, me becoming, changing that mind and wanting to now really thrive. So it was just like amazing. John told me about my Barbie World life, and it's still like, wow, how am I gonna get there? Who do I need? Like, I'm still working on that, because it's like it was a 5-10 year plan that I'm like, oh, okay. A Barbie, when I say Barbie World, is like, it's a lot of money that I didn't even think I would make in my lifetime, right? So I'm working on it.
Well,
Hopefully,
I want you to think about something. I talked about admiring people that are more successful than you are. Okay, they'd be inspiring. Flip side of that, think of the people that you're going to inspire. Okay, to get naturalized, to get the stuff that you're getting, to see those opportunities that you have, to have that mindset that you have, you know. So when I ask you to think about the people that you admire and why you admire them, okay, I also like to look in the mirror. Okay, who are the people that are going to admire what you're doing? Okay, who are going to be inspired by the type of person you are and the type of person you're developing into? Rebecca?
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this, so I wanted to share a quote that I heard this week. I think when we think about playing big, at least for me, sometimes it's scary, right? Change is scary, doing big things, getting out of your comfort zone. That all has a lot of fear wrapped around it. So I think for me, sometimes I have a big goal, but then I shorten myself because I go, "Ooh, that's a little too much. Let's be more realistic." And so I make my goals smaller. So a quote that I heard this week that has totally changed my mindset is if you're not changing, you're choosing. So if you're not going to change the things that you don't like, or if there's things that you want to do differently, but you're not willing to make the change, then you're choosing to stay stagnant. You're choosing to stay where you are. And I think choice is one of the things that makes all of us so great, right? We have free choice. We have this ability to choose. And so that has shifted my mindset because the world is scary. Things are scary. There's a lot of fear. I mean, I'm scared of bridges, but if I keep choosing to not go over a bridge, well, then I'm never going to change my fear. So guess what? I'm gonna go find a bridge this weekend. I'm gonna go drive over it. No, but I think in the long run, right? I just think that not being scared of these big of playing big, I think is huge. So if that helps somebody else, I hope so. It was a great quote that I heard. So thanks for letting me share.
Good one. Thank you. Hilda, do you have something to share?
Hilda, ¿tienes algo que compartir?
Sí, tardé en entender, tardé el traductor en decir, pero señor Miki, yo sé que usted no habla nada de español y yo no hablo nada de inglés. Yo llegué a este país.
A ver, espérame. She said she has a translator on, and and she understands that you guys, most of you do not understand nothing in Spanish, but she also does not understand anything in English. But she came to the States.
Well, I'm so glad she's here, and I'm glad she's got a translator that's doing that for her. So thank you for being here.
Realmente me siento muy conmovida escucharlo, ver su experiencia, ver por qué los americanos tienen una mentalidad impresionante.
She said that she is so inspired, so overwhelmed in emotions to hear your story, and how the Americans have a big mindset of progressing, succeeding.
Sí, yo llegué en este país en el 2019, justo antes de la pandemia. No me vine de mi país porque económicamente o yo no estuviera bien, simplemente fue por la violencia en el lugar donde yo vivía. Y con
She came to the United States in 2019, just before the pandemic. She didn't come here because of wealth issues or ¿por qué era la otra razón que no llegaste que viniste aquí? ¿Por económica y por qué?
no llegué aquí porque estuviera mal económicamente, es por la violencia.
But
Me
she
vine.
got all the violence going on in Mexico.
Yo soy asesor financiero, trabajo para New York Life en México y New York Life fue mi principal reto, entrar aquí a este país donde yo no hablo el inglés y me dio muchísimo trabajo que me aceptaran en mi empresa por el idioma. Estoy actualmente en...
Perdóname. She's works for New York Life. And she does that in Mexico. She has her own business in Mexico for this. But when she got here, it was a big challenge for her to get a job here to work for New York Life because of her English barrier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Entonces, multiplico mi mentalidad por 10 cada día, mi barrera del terror día con día para poder sobrevivir en una economía que no entiendo, pero que estoy ayudando a mis hispanos de la mejor manera posible para que puedan tener este, una vida diferente y puedan crecer mentalmente mejor. No sé, gracias por permitirme hablar.
She multiplies herself 10 times each day because she doesn't understand the language, but she really wants to help the Latino community. And it terrifies her every day because she doesn't understand the American economics, but her mindset is to help her community, and she wants to appreciate the time that you have given her to speak.
Thank you very much. You know, we are in an environment with abundant opportunity. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, are there challenges? Sure, but we're in an abundant environment. And one of the things running an international company that I've seen and experienced is when we go into other countries that don't have this type of an economy, this type of privilege, it's inspiring. I tell you, when Dawn and I were training in Portugal, these people were so excited about the opportunities that laid in front of them because they didn't always have that, in Portugal. The same thing when we've traveled to other countries and, just seeing how excited people were. Now, don't always get that here. It's not unusual for Americans, if you would, to be complacent, to be like, I'll do what it takes, but only what it takes. That's why I love, most other countries that I deal with in business, and Dawn and I have done trainings at, they're so excited. They're so excited. Brian Buffini, who does a lot of referral training in the real estate market, he said this many, many, many years ago. Well, it could have been 20 years ago. I was a big advocate of his, and he had said that I think it was 85% of millionaires, self-made millionaires in the United States, were not born here. 85, we got all the opportunity in the world, 85 were not born here. And at that time, he says the number one race of nationality were Russians. And the second was Polish, and they came here and they're like seeing all of this opportunity, and of course, they're mostly real estate agents and they see all this opportunity. And he says, they're looking like, what's the problem? The interest rates are high. There's no bombs. No, we're not in a war, and they talk about all of the hardships that they've had to go through. And yet we think we see obstacles, they see opportunities. That's the playing big mindset. Is an opportunity, okay, is a mindset of playing big. Okay, seeing the obstacles as playing small. Chantal, would you share?
Yeah, I actually have two comments. One, I didn't mention before, but I've decided to start taking steps to run for a local office because of what has happened. I just don't want to sit on the sidelines anymore, and I want to have an effect on my immediate community. So that was one thing that I need to do with a 10 times step is try to free up time to do that. So that's something else. And then also I had a question. When someone like a business partner, let's say, is really not doing things like this, maybe educating themselves on getting out of, the grind of doing things the way they've always been done and not going to that next level. How do you bring them along when you are doing all this work, and how do you convince them? Like, what is the strategy there to kind of bring them along with you?
Yeah. Well, so sharing your vision where you want to go. Okay. Now, once you do that, you do want to see if they buy into that vision. Does this inspire them? Is this something they want to be part of? Okay. If the answer is no, it's really best to have a separation from that. One of my business partners very early on, his name was Mike also, and he and I used to travel around the world and we would co-present on trainings and certifications. And then this woman came along who's one of our trainers. Her name is Dawn Lyons. And she brings this content about behavioral styles. And this is really good. And we integrated it into one of our programs. And we were going to Dublin. And the host had asked, he said, do you think Dawn might want to do that portion of the training? And I knew she would. And I'm like, I don't know, Patrick, why don't you ask her? And so we asked Dawn if she would do it. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And so I make arrangements that we're all going to meet in Boston. You know, my other partner's in Virginia. Dawn, of course, is out in California. I'm in Massachusetts. We're all going to meet in Boston. We'll fly over to Dublin together. And the three of us will present that workshop. While Dawn and I are in the airport waiting for the other Mike, I get a phone call from him because I can't see you. I'm really pissed off. I have to go home. I forgot my passport. Right. So now Dawn is going to co-present with me on a program she's never done before. Never did it. She's seen it done. She's seen me do it. But on the flight over, we dissected every part of the entire day, what she's going to do, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to edify her, how she edifies me, how we make the transition seamless, back and forth and back and forth. At the end of the workshop, I had people that have been through the workshop before with me and the other Mike. Right? And then people for the first time, they're like, oh my God, you've changed so much in this program. This program's amazing. And the only thing that changed was like a half-hour content. The biggest change was having Dawn there. Okay, having Dawn there made it so much more effective for all the people, so much more enjoyable. And here's what I knew. I knew that I could not do this with my business partner anymore. Okay, and so when I came home, I had to fly to Virginia and tell him, says, Mike, we're going to have to put aces in their places. And if we have Dawn out there, that's our best opportunity to expand this company. Okay. The feedback was overwhelmingly, this is what we need to do. All right. So put him in the back room to do his mad science work, but he's not going to be out front. Originally, he agreed. Okay. Eventually, we separated partnerships. It wasn't a good fit. My view on partnerships, and if you have partnerships, I don't know what they look like. My view of a partnership is it's more like a marriage. I've had very successful partnerships, you know. But Dawn was actually a business partner before she was a wife partner. We've been partners with Ivan for almost 20 years. I had a great relationship. But, you know, I do think there has to be a compatibility of values, expectations, and here's one last thing I'll talk to you about that kind of support network, whether it's a partner or people you're working with. I had a study sent to me about franchise success, and they talk about all the things that successful franchise have that other people, non-successful franchises don't have. For example, capital being one. But the difference wasn't that great. But people that were adequately funded were more successful than people that weren't. Right? Expertise, communication skills, leadership skills, all of these things went down. And then it came to the strength of the support network around them. And then it was like this. The successful ones had great support networks supporting them. And the failures, okay, had none. They burnt every bridge they've ever crossed. You know, and that's what got me thinking. I'm like, oh my God. That's 100% true. Every one of my top producers has got a huge, strong support network. And if you think back when you first started your business, if you had a significant other at the time, could you imagine coming home, working hard and hard week after week, day in and day out, 7 days a week, and your spouse is saying, you know, why do you do this? Why don't you just give it up? Get a job. You know, our friends go on vacation. We don't go on vacation. Could you imagine listening to that? And how that would undermine your mindset and success. Okay. So one of the things that I started doing is anytime someone wanted to check us out to buy a franchise, I would invite them to bring their significant other with them so they'd understand what you're getting involved with. Okay. I'd also invite them to come in at any of our conferences to see what you're going. And I can't tell you how many times I've had a spouse say, now I know what she does. I know how she does it. I know why she does it. This is absolutely in her wheelhouse, and I'm going to support her in any way I can. And there's nothing better. There's nothing. Laura came back to talking about that energy. That energy comes around us too. It's not just what we bring to the table. So, might be time to start. That's kind of a tough thing to say. Dale Marie.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Great inspiration. And I just wanted to address to Chantel that we have a coach in BNI who is a director, Corey Knott, and he deals with just this with partnerships. So I was just going to say, I'm referring you to Corey Knott because he can help you whether this is worth saving or not. And just a shout out to fellow Oaklander Debbie DiMaggio. Debbie, great to see you here. Thank you for sticking up for women over 40. And you're my inspiration. Everybody's here is an inspiration. So thank you, everybody, for sharing your story. Come from abundance, purple positive thoughts to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dale
Dale
Marie,
Marie.
it's not a referral until you talk to her. Just saying, it was a promotion of Corey. So I gotta just ask Mike, does this count as 10xing? Because I
Bella,
tell you
Bella.
what, our life has been turned upside down the past few days.
Oh, yeah.
But
10x
she's
your
a 10x.
joy.
Well,
Oh,
I've been
just
distracted. Okay. I just want to say one quick thing. I want to give everybody the dates. We have 2 more Global Guru dates. They are on the website. I believe Rebecca's got that all set up. December 10th, we are going to have Philip Burton. Philip is a coaching client of mine, longtime friend, great producer in Ascentive and Referral Institute, the other company that we had. He's from the UK, so you get to hear a fun accent. And the best thing I can tell you about Philip is he makes things easy, right? So sometimes you hear a great presentation and you're like, oh my God, where do I start? Philip is a coach and consultant. And so he makes it really simple. And then on December 18th, we're going to basically do a year-long recap. So you're stuck with me on the 18th. We are going to go through and I'm going to pick out kind of just some of the favorite moments, favorite pieces of every single one of the global gurus. So it's going to be like a 10x of global guru information all in one point. My goal is, especially those of you that have been on with us kind of all year long, is to really though ask you the coaching questions. You know, hey, did you do that? If not, get it on a to-do list. You know, how did that go? So it's going to be more of a, wow, you heard all this, you learned it. What did you do with the information? So we'll be doing a little bit of laser coaching as well. So you don't want to miss December 18th. That's all I got, Mike.
All right. Well, if anyone else would like to share either their goal or their mindset or where they're going, or even share, who is it someone that you admire? Who is it that you align with admire? And again, it doesn't mean you have to have had, a physical contact with them, but you follow them, maybe on their blogging and you just admire their values and what they're doing.
Well, I'll share. Hi, everybody. Thank you for this. This is very uplifting. For me, rejoining BNI after 8 years and then stepping into the president role has been a 10x move for me. And it's really expanded my life. The reason that it really works for me is because I do best when I'm in service. And so being in service as the president helps me get my mind off of like whether my business is, what my business is doing. I'll take the steps and the actions, but I can get a little caught up in how it's doing sometimes. And so it's been really great to just be in service to the chapter, to focus on learning. And there's so many things that are popping in my life in general at the same time. I got a new car, I'm getting all this great dental work done. And where my passion is, when you ask that question, like, what is your big goal? What's your inspirational goal? I love to write, and I was published last year in an anthology. And so I'm starting to like get hot here talking about this. But I think the next goal is going to be something around that.
Well, I'll tell you, what you just described is a great example of playing big or 10xing. It doesn't just happen in one place. Bang, there's a new car, got the dental work, got published. Oh, just like that. There's a special mindset place that you're in right now, and more to come. More to come.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to share? All right. Well, listen, thank you for participating in this Global Gurus. It's been my pleasure to be here with you today. I really do hope you lean into those playing big. Okay. And when you look at that playing big, if it's like, yeah, it's not big enough, make it bigger. Like go for the moon when you're looking for these playing big times. Right? This is a 10x, not a 2x. Right. So I challenge you to do that and then get into that mindset and start making it happen. You don't need to know how it's going to happen. You just need to know it's going to happen and do what it takes to make it happen. Thank you again for being here. I hope